Good afternoon, everybody. A very warm welcome to your next session at LRVS. I hope and trust everyone is having a fantastic conference so far. A very good afternoon here in Singapore, from Singapore. Everyone that is joining us from the US at this hour, thank you for being here. All the night owls. To everyone from Europe, a very good morning. Everyone from Asia, a very good afternoon. And from Oceania. So we have a worldwide audience this time. Today I have the honor as the General Manager from Fluidtech Singapore. My name is Lars van Dijk, by the way. Today I have the honor to present to you Mika Perttula. He is the CEO at Fluid Intelligence, and he will be discussing 4 building blocks that make your digital maintenance strategy fly. A topic that is very relevant in the world today, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say about it. So let's get started. During the presentation, please feel free to ask questions in the chat. We will be handling those questions and we'll take some time to deal with them, Mika and me together after this presentation. Please enjoy, and I'll bring up Mika.
Hello, great to join Lubrication and Reliability Virtual Summit again this year. My name is Mika Perttula, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Fluid Intelligence. In this session, we focus on digitalization and proactive maintenance strategies and see how we can make those successful. Reflecting back the previous year, the LRVS session, we heard many questions like, is it all going to be digital? Do we need lab analysis? What sensors should be used? Also, we've seen in various industry expert discussions that it's not always easy to justify budgets for long-term development and proactive and digital maintenance strategies. But what we haven't heard that much is that how do we work? How does our future look like, and how do we adapt to digitalization? So we will focus and address these topics from 4 different perspectives. Once we have a strategy with digitalization boosting goals and incentives in place, supported by a solid business case, then it's mainly about advice and acting early. So let's start with the strategy itself. Today we don't see that much of reactive strategies anymore, but still quite a bit of time-based activities. And of course, we want to be sure and change the oils regularly. But even if we have a better visibility to our machinery and fluid performance, we still many times target next overhauls and make the oil change and other activities as planned. But in order to get really the benefits of digital strategies and proactive strategies, we need to refresh our thinking and strategic goals. And decide that are we really after a lifetime value or a quarterly cost optimization. And once we have these goals set, then we, of course, need to have a budget and a business case that supports the activity, and also align the incentives. Because if we don't have all of these building blocks in place, then we have basically failed during the day one. But as we can see from our examples and customers from energy sector, one of our customers has adapted proactive maintenance strategy a long time already before even taking the digitalization on board. And they have been running over 30 years the same fluids with hardly any challenges in their machines. But on the other hand, every now and then we get calls to the customers, and and see this kind of like a event that is based on a reactive or some time-based strategy. And there hasn't been any activities, and basically we end up seeing like 250,000 oil changes and other needed repair. So there's a big difference between of these two extremities. So let's turn our eyes to the business case and see how we can develop a proper business case that really supports your digitalization and proactive maintenance strategy development. Still, many times we see this kind of a scenery in our daily work. There's no problems with the machines or fluid performance. So there's no really incentives to do more like a long-term planning and preparations for long-term. On the other hand, we end up seeing also unlimited budgets. Once a machine doesn't start or it fails. But we need to do better, take those extra steps so that we can really develop a smart budget that supports your long-term goals and activities, but also takes care of the daily priorities. The other thing that we hear many times is that machines don't fail. But we can see from the global studies that in average, unplanned downtimes take around 5% of global industrial output each year. And this is something that our data also confirms, but fortunately, we have been able to reduce that number quite considerably with our customers. So let's see how we should develop the business case and of which components. Many times when we start talking about fluid digitalization strategies and budgets, we end up comparing this digitalization cost to basically direct oil costs, oil sampling costs and so on. But we should really understand the whole big picture, all the reliability and maintenance costs, CapEx costs that include machine investments, machine failures and so on, and what kind of impacts industrial fluids has for revenue and the profits. And once we understand the central role of oil for the business performance, we start getting the holistic picture of the topic. So as we know that up to 80% of all machine failures for rotating hydraulic machines can be traced down to some sort of problems with oil. And also unplanned downtimes take 5% of the annual production, plus regular maintenance generates excessive costs and also the waste oil streams. So by combining this understanding and visibility to business case, then we have really like a holistic view of the topic, so that how big impact the oil really has for our performance. So once we take the steps to digitalization and proactive maintenance, we can see really a big impact first in operational expenditure costs. As we do less maintenance, we have less waste oil streams. Also, when we have less unplanned downtimes and machine failures, that contributes to the capital expenditures as well. But also, it increases the revenues and profits as we have less lost production in our daily activities. So as an example from one of our mineral producing customers, Saibelco Nordic, first they had almost like an annual oil changes, and most of the OPEX cost focused on on oil and related services. Also, they had a history of some machine failures, and it was always minimum 50K cost for repairing plus some 3 to 4 times the lost production. So once we started to work together, we were able to at least triple the life cycle of the oil, keep the oil performance on really excellent level. We haven't seen any machine failures since then. And also the direct savings plus 20% per year in OPEX, but also as we are preventing costly machine failures. So to sum up the business case, during the past years, we haven't seen a single machine failure based unplanned downtime with our customers when we have been applying digital strategy and proactive maintenance activities. The cost savings for our customers has been 5 to 10-fold compared to investment in digitalization when we compare it to prevented OPEX and CAPEX costs. And also we have seen quite a tremendous environmental savings, as over 75% of our customers has been able to prevent or increase the life cycle of the oil. So let's talk briefly next about how we work today and how it looks tomorrow. Are we proactive and open-minded enough to really grasp the benefits of the digitalization? I'm not so sure if we are always so open-minded and willing to take the benefits from the new technologies. We are seeing constant rush when we talk with our industry peers. So many priority tasks, but there's no time to sit down and plan long term. Of course, time-based activities bring stability, but failure doesn't follow the clock. So we need to be more agile in the future. I also think that it's not so much about that how can we adapt to digitalization and digital tools, but more about managing our change process. But once we stop for a moment and start planning long term, we can start our process of digitalization and proactive maintenance. Of course, change period is always challenging. You have the daily priorities and tasks, and you need to do long-term planning parallel. But soon we start seeing the benefits of planning long-term. We have clear goals and plans, timely visibility to our machinery performance, very early indications of potential challenges with concrete advice and proactive actions. And this leads to less firefighting. So as an example from our energy plant customer sector, one of our customers was identifying a varnish problem in their oil. So what they did, they instantly took the needed mitigation actions, the varnish removal process that we were able to monitor with our FluidEye online diagnostic solution. And in 90 days, they were getting the oil back to the shape where it should be, and had a really good benefits of that activity. Increased oil life cycle for years, no downtime during this proactive process. And of course, we got rid of varnish accumulation, and it doesn't escalate to a machine failure. So being early, acting early, taking those needed actions takes us quite long. So let's then turn our eyes to digitalization itself. So what data is relevant? Is it online, offline? Should we use lab analysis and so on? So as in previous example, we can see that the customer was identifying the problem, validating that with the lab analysis. Then we combined an online diagnostics to monitor the warning removal process. And then again, we were validating the end result with the new lab analysis. So in that case, the combination of online and offline diagnostic methods was really a key for the customer. And offline doesn't mean it's not digital. Then again, in another case, in the process industry, lab analysis couldn't reveal anomalies that our customer was occurring every now and then, until we installed a fluid diagnostics tool, and we were able to identify the cyclical small water leaks in our customer's system that was impacting their process. So in that case, it was only digital that was able to help the customer. But it's really about the need and the challenge that we are addressing that dictates that what's the best way of analyzing our fluid performance. And also when we see that what level of detail is good, we can deep dive on an online microscopic visibility of the oil flow, or even as high as oil asset management level to do a portfolio level analysis of specific machinery's performance, and everything between. But what's really important is that we understand that what are we after? Because every industry is different, every machine, every fluid is different, and there's endless combinations of these. So really understanding the characteristics of specific industries. And in pulp and paper, it could be that we are seeing regularly challenges coming from the water, but that may not be the case in chemical production. And when we talk about mining or logistics, it could be all hydraulics. So really understanding that what's the key characteristics for the specific industry help us to understand that what data and on what level we should be analyzing. And what phenomena. So is it chemical changes that we are after? Is it mainly about contaminants? And also the time factor, because that's really different from small mobile stone crushing machine compared to a turbine or a pulp and paper machine. So once we have relevant data on relevant level that we need, we understand these industry-specific phenomena, then we are in a position to really create a proper root cause analysis that leads to actionable advice that our operations and maintenance teams can then take forward and really act early. So to sum up, these 4 key building blocks that make our digital and proactive strategies to fly is the strategy itself, that we really have a goals that support digitalization, the budget, and especially we align incentives and all other activities around our digital strategy. We have a business case where we have all the relevant cost components, but also the benefit components, so that we can understand that by changing to proactive mindset, and utilizing digitalization, we can really get the targets and benefits that we are after. And then the proactive mindset, that is really one of the key here. So that once we get early hints of potential challenges, by acting early, we can gain the most. And of course, the digitalization itself, that we really have a relevant data and meaningful data, not just data because of the sake of big data. And understanding that what's the characteristics and that the key characteristics and challenges between these industries, so that we can create a proper root cause analysis and provide actionable advice for our operations and maintenance teams. So this way, we can deliver the targeted results, reliability, via increased uptime and machine availability. And this also contributes to product and production quality. The business benefits through reduced OPEX costs and also the CAPEX costs, because we are seeing less unplanned downtimes and machine failures. And last but not least is the environmental benefits. By focusing on maximizing the lifetime of the assets, we are increasing the lifetime of oil quite considerably, and this way we are reducing the CO footprint of this industrial production quite well. Thank you for your interest. I hope I was able to open up a little bit the key areas where we should focus on when we develop digital and proactive maintenance strategies. And please send me a message if you have any questions or comments regarding this presentation. And I look forward to seeing you on our virtual booth later today. Thank you.
All right, a big thank you to Mika for this very interesting and clear presentation. Let me bring Mika in to see if we can talk a bit more about this topic. Hello, Mika. Thank you for
the
presentation.
For joining me.
It must have been very clear. We didn't receive any questions during the chat. I found the topic very interesting. It was especially nice to see that you were able to do a root cause analysis using a digital tool instead of the usual that we encounter a lot, physical testing. So that was very interesting. I do have some questions for you from my side, since we don't have any questions in the chat now. We still have a few minutes.
Yeah, please do. And I have some comments also that reflects to the day one session. So
okay.
Yeah, Lars, continue.
Okay, great. So actually, one of the questions that popped up in my head, you talked about the importance of having the operators or the plants moving from reactive to proactive thinking, basically. So what are the main challenges that you face in convincing your customers or the industry to change this mindset? And is there a difference perhaps in the regions in the world in this aspect?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I would say that the very burning question that I heard yesterday also in quite a few sessions. So yeah, fortunately we are not seeing that much of like a reactive strategies anymore, but lots of like time-based activities, and of course you might have like also like a reactive strategy for some not like priority machines that basically run to the end and replace basically. So you have some like small engines or motors or pumps in itself, but otherwise I would say that it's not only in like Northern Europe, but what we have been discussing with people around the globe is that the time factor is really one of the biggest challenges. So that there are so much priority tasks every day for you. So you might be doing like a firefighting for some really urgent topics and so on. And we've seen that many times you need to like postpone a meeting with some of our industry peers because you're getting something really burning on your table. So that's the first big challenge. Even though you would have like a willingness and targets to take things forward and develop more proactive activities.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, then there might be like that different people might have like different perspectives for maintenance, and it's just also like I would say that where you have learned and are you open-minded enough to basically listen to people within the industry and take new ideas and benefit yourself. But I think that the most biggest challenge, I would say, that is really the time to sit down for a moment and think and plan long term.
Yeah.
And really facilitate the process itself, the change process. But so it's not that much about like the digital tools and means supporting you well. You have nice and clear UIs and so on. But really that you can manage the whole change, because it's painful sometimes, not always, but sometimes it can be.
Yeah. I understand what you mean, and I hear you. It's a similar challenge that we are facing as well. Thank you very much for your time, Mika. Do you have any further comments to make? We have about 3 more minutes left, so if you have anything you want to add.
Basically, I was a bit surprised that when I was preparing for this presentation, I was highlighting really the business case factor, so that I could give some insight for the audience that how you can prepare like a better business case and prepare yourself when you are planning long term, setting up the goals and targets for your organization. Also justifying a budget for your activities. And what I heard yesterday in quite a few presentations, I heard like similar concerns that you are not always able to like justify a budget, like Randy Carlisle from Airgas Merchant Gases was saying that even you are getting your reliability up, you have first a budget to work with, but after a while, once your machines are running and your operations are running smoothly, then the management might think that, well, where do you need all this money because everything's fine? So it's like a chicken and egg problem, and otherwise also you may not always see that as an insurance for long-term performance. And same from like Ravi Ramdeer from Canada. He was saying that he has been like placing posters across the factory walls to highlight the benefits and cost savings that they have already gathered from like being proactive and doing like and utilizing digitalization in their operations.
Yeah. So that's like an internal marketing to make sure that you're not being punished for your own success, basically, because if you're not
you need those internal champions and So to me, at least, it seems that it's really like a industry-wide challenge that we need to work forward together and always when we get some new machinery or process under proactive management and where we can utilize also digitalization, I think it's a win for the whole industry and for the nature as well, because then we are essentially expanding the life cycle of the oil and reducing the oil consumption. So it's a win-win for many of the stakeholders.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I think that's a very nice point to end the session with. Thank you very much, Mika, for your time. Thanks to all the attendees. I hope you've enjoyed the sessions. Please feel free to link up with Mika in the profile sessions of our speakers. You can ask more questions to him there. I'm sure he'll be happy to address those and share contacts with you all. So herewith, we will end the session. Thank you very much to everyone involved, and hope to see you again. Take care.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Mika. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.